Oh, hello. How you? It's good to see you. Very good. So, it's my first time doing stand-up comedy. You can see I'm sweating already. Lights are so bright. Never done this. Sweating, palms shaking, sweaty. I'm not uncomfortable. Uncomfortable, to say the least. Now, it's my first time, as I just said. And first time doing stand-up comedy is similar to one thing: having sex for the first time. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, I hope you guys don't laugh as much as she did. Because I don't know why she laughed so much, but maybe because it was small and unfulfilling, kind of like St. Francis's parking lots. But, the one thing everybody does is the first time they give a speech is they're like, oh, make sure I'm in their underwear. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. But you know what everybody does is they do the... They just stare at the wall. And you're like, oh, no one will notice. It's okay. But then you're in the seat, and you're like, I can see them looking at the wall. And so you look behind you. And you look back at them. They're still looking up. But then the person giving the speech is like, all right, I've got some confidence now. They look down. And then all they can think about is, oh, crap, 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 crap. They're staring at you. The one person is staring at you. And you're like, oh, I got to scan. So you scan the room. And you start making eye contact with three same people for the entire speech. You don't know why. You just do. You're like, you just go back up to the wall. And you realize this is the biggest mistake you ever made. Because as soon as you make eye contact with someone, you got to poop. You're like, oh, it's time to poop. You don't know why, but you just do. So I prepare, right? Kind of like I did today. Poop right before this. I just did. I'm vulnerable right now. You all just know that I just pooped 5 minutes ago. But it's interesting because when you're going to the bathroom in a public place, there's always, 2 or 3 stalls or whatever. I don't know how it is in the girls' bathrooms, but there's 2 or 3. So you're going, you're doing your business, no big deal. And then you do the one thing. This is your phone. This is my phone. You send a Snapchat. All you can see is your face. You send it to your best friend, and they go like this. And somehow they're on a toilet too, and they're like, poop in 2014. You're like, what? How'd they know? They just know you're already pooping. But that's not the bad part. The bad part is the person next to you hears the noise, and you're just like, so like, all right, I'll move on. They leave, you're still going, and you're almost done. And one person walks in. This person is called a turd burglar. Now, what I like to say is that this person will rob you of that last turd you have. Now, you're going, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, pinching it. You don't want to go. You're just nervous. You're nervous that they're going to hear it. And you're vulnerable, because you're pooping, and they just have to pee. And so they finish up, and you can hear them start washing their hands, turn the sink off, and you're like, all right, they left. And it's like, biggest plop of your life. You're like, oh my God, I hope they were gone. I didn't hear the door close. And you're like, all right. So you finish up and you walk outside, right? And here he is, staring at you in the mirror. And you're like, oh my God, he's a lingerer. He's just lingering there. I don't know what to do. I'm vulnerable. I just got out from pooping. He only peed. And he's not even washing his hands anymore. I don't know what he's doing. He's just standing there. So I have to walk up and start washing my hands, dry it off, and you have to use the terrible hand dryer. It's like, and just, oh well, just wipe it off. But then that guy's still standing there. You're like, all right, I'm done. So you start going to leave, open up the door, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, it's time for me to go too. And you got that like awkward, do I go out of the door? You don't know what to do. So you go out the door, and then he's like walking real close behind you. He's like, and you're like, what? Why are you walking behind me? What do you see? But then I think about what women do when they pee. Now this is interesting, because I think about it like, all right, if I'm a guy, which I am, in case you didn't notice, I go into the bathroom, pee in the urinal, and if I finish peeing, I'm like, oh no, I gotta poop. It's too late. Someone's in there, I just got to walk out and leave and come back 20 minutes later and pretend I just have to pee again. Now, for a girl, this is interesting because you guys are just like, oh. All done. So I don't understand why they get the advantage. This is not fair. It's the only advantage they have. Now, I'd like to take a minute to talk about stools. Now, stools are interesting. Not those kind of stools. Stop thinking about poop. We're done with poop jokes. All you weirdos laughing at poop. Not poop anymore. I'd like to take a minute to talk about my non-existent comedian stool. Now, why does every stand-up comedian have a stool? I understand. They just have a stool. When's the last time you saw someone go like this? Most effective comedy show ever. I don't know who does it. They have their little water in their notes, but then they don't even touch either. Like, oh, notes, we don't need those. Water, my mouth's not dry, we're fine. So that's always interesting to me. But then, what are these stools always made of? It's that classic wooden stool. So you got this classic wooden stool, round, 4 legs, 2 bars going around it. No big deal. So what else is made out of wood? Pinocchio. Yes, great segue. You just heard that. So Pinocchio is made out of wood, right? And there's one thing Pinocchio would be the worst at, being a husband. Pinocchio is the worst husband you ever see. There's one reaction all men have every time. Oh, do I look fat in this? No, done. Never. Never can look fat in this. Pinocchio, on the other hand, oh, honey. That's Pinocchio's wife's voice, by the way. Oh, honey, do I look fat in this? No. Oh, I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. I don't know what I did. I gotta sleep on the couch. So there's one time where not lying would backfire, and this is the wood you all thought of when I started talking about wood. Yes, that wood. Now, Pinocchio can lie at one moment to his wife where she would enjoy it. Fill in the blanks. Yes, you got it. Oh, Pinocchio, tell me I'm pretty. Oh, you're pretty. Oops. It's the one time where he was allowed to lie. He just needed to lie one time. That was it. Well, guys, thanks for coming out. Thanks for helping me last longer than I did with my first girlfriend.